Hello, I am Sheepeater. I am an avid gamer, and today we're going to be playing Axiom Verge blind for the first time, and I'll be trying to give my best feedback on what my experience is like as I play this game. This is the first time I've recorded a video like this, so we'll see how it goes. That is a test game that I created, so we're going to create a new game. Start on normal, because I imagine that as a developer you're going to give normal the most attention, and it is the kind of expected behavior that most users are going to experience. The interesting thing about this is 2005, so 10 years ago as of the recording of this video. A lot of sci-fi games tend to have more of a futuristic feeling to it, but I guess it's more of a past feeling, something that happened in the past. So, get some characters introduced here. There seem to be some sort of scientists working in New Mexico, home of Area 52. We'll see maybe if that comes into play later. Some cool, interesting effects there. So these kind of looks like an energy core of some type, or some sort of beam. No, beamlets. So they're trying to focus energy onto this crystal here in the middle. Uh-oh, something's gone horribly wrong, as things typically do in big science experiments. You know, most science experiments in reality are really kind of boring and involve a lot of little methodical things. It's funny how a lot of games and media tend to put it into more of a I had a thought there. So, it seems there a person that was inside the capsule? Was the Trace the person? I thought he was the scientist. Maybe Trace was the... No, that's the same person. That's the same picture as that was there before. There's a mysterious voice. He's telling me to get a gun. Yep. You should always trust the mysterious voice that's telling you to get a gun. So interesting, how did this person end up going from the lab into this capsule area? Press up to save. Alright, oh, nope. Hey, we can save here. Oh, that's interesting. Kind of reminding, and this game has been heavily compared to Metroid or Castlevania, where you end up in a location that requires you to save, or allows you to save, and there's a very obvious, this is a save room. The interesting thing about this room is you have this block area over here, and this inability to go through there with this passage. My expectation would be that later on we can come back and get through that spot again. Maybe if we pick up a gun of some type that allows us to break this material, we can see more of that material. Except this, no, that's not passable either. So, and even the art style here, where there's individual blocks on the screen, is very much of a callback to the opening of Metroid or Super Metroid, where each individual square is, or each level, each area is made up of a large number of blocks, and individual blocks can be interacted with in some cases with using bombs, or broken with your gun. So, just picked up an interesting weapon, biomechanoid weapon, high-tech, giving me instructions on how to use this. So just a quick mention, I'm using a Xbox wired controller and playing this on a PC at the time, and so that's why it's giving me Xbox-like instructions here. Alright, so we can... It's a gun. Oh, so that apparently is a lady? There's no voice acting in here, so my expectation would be that it was a dark kind of brooding voice, or a sultry bass speaking from the shadows, as the image there is not visible. Interesting that they're actually portraying it as a lady, and there's not actually a lady that was in the opening cutscene, so a lot of unanswered questions here. It's interesting that they give you the instructions on how to use the weapon, and then don't let you use the weapon because you have to go through a cutscene. So, see how this fires. Typical 8-direction. Can't fire straight down while you're standing. I wonder if you can... Nope. So, oh, left button locks me in place, as opposed to locking the direction that I'm holding the gun, which I think would be interesting. So one thing that is lacking already is that you can't aim with a shoulder button and fire up. You actually have to press the direction that you're going and then aim up as well, which prevents you, again, to, I think in Super Metroid game you were able to hold down both shoulder buttons on the SNES controller, and it would fire straight up, but I could be mistaken. This stuff is now moving, so that's interesting, or new. So, also just to check here, I like the effect on the explosion there. It's not actually just a pure particle effect. It's actually causing distortion, as you can see, to the blocks behind it, which is a very nice touch. It's a very polished touch. So move on here, and as I expected, you could break these blocks, which will allow us to get into that next room. And I like how they can allow you to oh no, never mind. I was thinking that you can break the ones here on the floor, since there's these gaps here left on the floor, which is a nice polished touch again to the quality of the graphics, even though this is just a pretty simple 2D game. This room feels different. It feels more alive. You can see here at the bottom as well, like I don't remember that floor being red. So we'll go ahead and save again, just so I don't have to go through the cutscene there after picking up the gun in case I suddenly find my demise in this next location. On our first enemy. So, my reaction here is like, why is this enemy even there? I can completely ignore it, as you can just simply walk underneath it, and it has no effect on the player. We're introduced to, I guess, to something new, and it's very non-threatening. This slug. Oh, hey, you can actually get hit when it comes around the corner there, and your life is affected there a little bit. Yeah, if you look at the life counter up there on the top left, it's actually it's a non-discrete looking thing, so it actually moved down. It looks like there would be 2 blocks there, similar to other parts of the menu in this game, but it doesn't actually move a block at a time, but actually moves the quality of the bar. So my expectation here, yep, blows up. Oh, I like the way it explodes like that, as opposed to just disappearing. It's interesting as well, it gets stunned a little bit when it gets hit. So more things, blow it up. Yeah, it's a very satisfying death animation there. It just explodes into a bunch of little pieces. So for the most part, we can probably just ignore a lot of these things that are very non-threatening. I'll try and see if I can do that. Oh, so here's a new type of block here in the ground. You can see kind of an intent by whoever made this level, that kind of giving you an idea that you should come back later and try that out again when you have new things. You know, a different type of gun, or maybe a different type of tool that allows you to dig, a la kind of a Terraria or Minecraft behavior. So and here again we see more things hinted at that we'll be able to uncover later. It's really the kind of one of the defining factors of this genre of what's become known as Metroidvania, is that you have a level that folds in on itself in a way, and then you are exposed to kind of mechanics that you'll see later on in the game early, with the kind of anticipation given to the player. It allows them to look forward, to have something to look forward to as they progress through the game. So just a basic climb here. Boring kind of, no, not necessarily boring, but very simple. So here we can see the similar kind of structure as we saw in the other room. You could probably end up being able to shoot that orb with something kind of that's homing or shoots through material. The little orb on the top left there above the pink door. I imagine if you flip that switch, it'll end up opening that gate for us. So we got more stuff and a little different color here on the ground. Kind of a purple, giving you an idea that, oh, and our first threatening enemy here that you actually can't simply avoid, some sort of like hive thing. Yeah. Little flying enemies that come out of it, akin to kind of a beehive in a way. Let's see if we can, yeah, that's a really good spot right there. If they only shoot in a diagonally down manner as they were, then that was a really good spot to be unable or immune to any kind of threat from it. So we can take the high ground again, and yeah, oh, here's a new thing that I didn't notice before. I guess those are the health of this game. So you kill enemies, gain items that restore your health. Kick this guy out since we're in try and go up. So it's interesting here. You have a lot of this area, this room is completely unused. It's unnecessary. You have this entire space on these sides where there's nothing here, except that you can interact with it. So even though this is here, that doesn't serve really any purpose other than adding kind of a sense of the area's structure and the theme of this whatever zone I'm in. I would expect though, if you're a level developer, that you'd be inclined to maybe hide something in one of these areas. Also, one of the other things that's unclear is this stuff is respawning, but it doesn't actually respawn as long as you're in the place. And if I remember correctly, I did actually have to break some of this in order to create a platform to let it respawn and come back. So again, this is a little bit of it teaching you. No, never mind. You can jump from the gate there up to it. Oh, that's new. That's kind of a jellyfish thing with some eyes and a laser mouth. This is very powerful, or at least very durable. Kind of gives me the sense that maybe I'm heading in the wrong direction, and as it turns out I am, as if I touch this mysterious blue distortion, I end up getting hurt. So I do like that they make it so you actually have to input that you want to go through those doors here, as opposed to just if you fall in, you go down. Create some situations later where you're not wanting to go through a door and you end up going through anyway because you are stuck going through it. So now we actually see we have one of these pink doors with these orbs on either side, and as I expected, you can shoot the orb and it opens the door. Very, very much similar to the Metroid style, where you have the doors through each zone, the blue doors, the red doors that would have differing behavior, but also just you shoot them in order to open the door and gain access to the zone behind it. As we move into this area, we can tell that there's a change in theme. We went very much from a gray to a red, so either we've entered a new zone or this is a special room. As I've discovered this purple orb thing, I imagine that this is kind of the special room behavior of the game. So moving forward, Nova. Firing again causes it to detonate. So I imagine this will allow you to shoot behind corners. So if you aim it just right, yeah, allows you to maybe hit something at an angle or on the other side of an obstruction. And if we remember, we already saw a couple of locations where we had a door of some type that we were unable to open exactly like this, simply because the thing that we needed to shoot was not in the immediate line of sight. So we can use this gun to now traverse areas of the map that were previously inaccessible to us. It'd be an interesting thing to experiment with this gun and see if there is a significant amount of difference in the performance of each shot if you save the explosion and hit it with the large blast, or if you explode it and hit it with the smaller blasts. We're kind of stuck trying to pick this thing down little by little. Might also be a good weapon for if I could time it right. There we go. Oh, not entirely. Oop, that guy came, snuck up on me, because I was focused on a different part of the screen. But it's very generous, again, with the health drops to allow us to recover. And again, this is on normal, and this is a very early part of the game, and I would expect that we can move forward, and later in the game, it might be a little less forgiving with some of the mechanics. So, wasting a lot of time here shooting things that I could probably just simply run around or avoid. Now we have the first option to open the door, but we can actually retrace our steps and go back and visit a location that we previously found but were unable to explore. So this is interesting. I was not expecting that, so an interesting behavior by that enemy that rushes out from the wall. override a save point. So we can see now, test out if saving restores your health, which it does. We are granted a full recovery for health. It'll be interesting to find out as we go through this game what the design of those kind of capsules means. This whole architecture is very unique. So the music stopped. So, and we have a very unique background. We'll go ahead and stop here. This is a good intro. We'll move on to segment 2.